Hello, Jay the Wolf here. Um, I wanted to discuss a couple of ideas that I actually had for the League of Legends. Uh, my green screen's kind of messing up back there. Um, I like how they come out with a lot of champions and stuff like that. It's really interesting to see these new champions, these new ideas that these guys come up with in Riot. In this game, I'm playing vel'koz. We had a bit of a it's a crappy game. I actually lose in this, but we had a bit of a trolley lease in here. I'll let you watch that in the background. But this video isn't really about this gameplay. I was trying to make videos all night, but nothing was really working. I kept getting games like this, and so instead I got the idea to actually talk about something else. I like when I played this. I've played this game for a little while. I'm not very good at it. I know that, but I like to. It's something I do as I like to actually come up with ideas for champions and things inside this game. Like I I'll talk to my cousins and family and friends and stuff about random ideas that I come up with, and I like that they come out with new champions. What, like every month or so. Um, and I like that little tease, that little tease that they give you of a new game type of like mercenaries or Doombots and Earth mode and all that. I like those, but I wish they would stay. They always take them away. I hate that. They're like, it's not balanced and all that. You can make it balanced. It's all about numbers. You can make it balanced. It's not that hard. And people are like, oh, you don't know what it's like to be a programmer. Yes, I do. I do program stuff. I actually create my own games. Nothing really big or anything like that, but I am only one person. I am able to create similar games of this caliber. And it's like they are a team of people. If I can get close, then I sure as hell know that they can do it. Like, it just takes time, but a lot of programmers are lazy. Let's just say it. Lazy. It is hard to look at pages and pages of words and like digits and shit for so long before your brain becomes mush. I'm not saying that programming is easy. It isn't easy. It's pretty hard. It's difficult to keep focused. Like, I have problems with being able to focus. I can do a lot of things with programming. When you program stuff, you're potentially a god. Like, with the technology that we have today, there's pretty much nothing that we can't do inside of programming. Um, but yeah, like, they could totally do these things, and they could definitely fix stuff and add stuff. Instead, like, most of the times, they, like, add items, take out items, add new things, rework champion. I love when they rework champions. They really need to rework a few other champions. Yeah, a lot of people complain about Nidalee, and it's like, change your spear to something similar to Varus's Q. Just not being able to pierce things. That would fix it. That way, it's an obvious indicator that she's going to chuck a fucking spear at you instead of instantaneously, and it being almost like being able to hide it with your auto attacks, auto attacking a minion, randomly chuck a spear into someone's face. Like, that is Italy in a nutshell. But having it where if it's an instantaneous cast or like a Varus Q where she'll pull back and make it completely obvious that she's going to hit you with a spear, it becomes a challenge. People will try to dodge this spear and stuff, so it makes it harder for her to land and it's more obvious. Like, being able to instantaneously chuck it is what's OP about Nidalee. Not her spirit itself. Like, it doing so much damage, that's not OP because it's literally the only ranged thing she has besides her almost potentially useless traps that is only used to actually mark people with her new passive. Like, it's not too new, but I'm just saying, like, mark her hunt thing. Um, that's the only thing you really use them for, or temporary wards, like wards that don't last as long as wards actually do or whatnot, or even if they do, I don't really calculate the time. I usually just spam those things out so people can't get around behind me. But
A lot of people complain about Nidalee's spear, but it's like they could fix that. They totally can. There's definitely different possibilities that they could do it. But instead, what they did is they slimmed it down. It's a cone. Instead of being a log she chucks a little stick, but it still does a lot of damage. Which they say, oh, it's harder to land. It's not. You actually made it easier to land. I can snake that thing through a flock of minions and still get your ass. I can kill one minion and instantly, as soon as that minion dies, chuck a spear right through its dying corpse to nail the Annie or Ash or Lux behind it and one shot their ass. It's not that hard to land. You made it easier, if anything. Um, I'm not saying that Nidalee is an OP champ. I actually like playing Nidalee. I play her a lot. She's probably one of my best champions that I've played. Like, I love her mechanics and the way that she works. Like, she is a really good champion. I like being able to jump around and being mobile. I'm all about guerrilla warfare, and she jumps out, kills you, runs into a bush, heals up, comes back and kills another. Like, that's what she does. That's a beautiful technique, and it's pretty strategic. Like, a lot of people say that she's really easy to play, but not really. Like, she dies pretty easy. If you get her stunned, all she can do is chuck a spear at you. Yeah, those spears hurt, but they're not that hard to dodge either. They may be easier to land, but they're easier to dodge as well. So it's more risk reward to each throw. But, like, making them smaller was not the thing that would fix Nidalee. But I'm not going to complain about Nidalee all day and night and stuff. I actually wanted to talk about, like, different ideas that, like, um, I wanted it to be more about like different ideas. Like I had this idea for a champion, a mirror master champion, a champion that's a master of mirrors. He could put up mirror walls. Like his Q would be a mirror ball that he would throw that would absorb any projectile that it hit as it flew. Like even auto attacks that it happened to pass through, it would just gather it and stack it as a little like stack of energy that it stores up to 3 stacks, and then have him like his W, he's able to put walls up, and as you level up this thing, the more walls you can have, and then until you can have up to 3, and then the fourth one will put an extra stack of energy that you can have per wall. The the my mouth's full of shit. I probably shouldn't say that, but oh well. Um, I get frustrated at my stuttering. I try not to stutter, but it happens. But yeah, like the walls, they would only take 2 hits before they're destroyed, so they would potentially be able to absorb 2 hits and then explode. Like your E would detonate all mirrors, even your Q, but your W, you could put up to 3 of these walls, and they would reflect any projectile that hits them. They will be kind of like a thorn mail or something. So like you can have it where auto attacks were like 50% damage back to the person shooting the wall with it, or they would just absorb it, and when it is destroyed, when it hits that maximum number of what it can take, it just blows up. The more damage that it has stored up, when you hit your E, the mirrors will do more damage when they explode. So they can stack up to a total of 3 charges before maximum explosion, or just destroying themselves. After 3 charges is absorbed, anything else that hits it would just break it. It'll just collapse and do pretty much nothing. It'll just do like a base damage of just your E just breaking the mirrors. So like he'll be more against ranged champions. Melee champions can walk up to the mirrors and just pound on them, and that like the mirror would absorb their auto attacks and whatever melee attacks and stuff. But like if you don't trigger it, it's not going to do much damage to them anyways. So like a melee champion would destroy this champion. That's his weakness. He doesn't really have too many escapes. He can like, since the walls are pretty much like terrain, he could put them in the way, but most champions have like some type of jump, flash, something like that to just get past it. But his ult would be mirror dome. He would put a dome in an area around, and it's a dome, so people can't really jump out of it, but you could flash or blink out of it. Any type of blink abilities could get through it. Cassidin's alt, boom, right through it. Israel, boom, right through it. Flash, boom, right through it. Um, so it's like I put a lot of ideas and thoughts into this champion and stuff like that. Like, and then his passive, one with the mirrors, he would be able to actually go inside of the mirrors, potentially taking him out of game. It seems like Riot has had a thing for this. A lot of champions actually are pulled from the game, like Tom Kench is eating people, Callista, her alt, like all this potentially takes you completely out of the game and stuff like that. And like this would do it too. But it's not really OP because he would be stuck in the mirror. He could have like a secondary ability, like if he's in a mirror and he clicks another mirror on the map, he could pretty much charge up, channel, and then get to that mirror instantly. So it's like a free teleport for this champion. These mirrors, I don't think they should have like a time, but it should be similar to the way Heimerdinger's turrets work. Like they're easily broken, but they just sit there because they're not gonna do damage by themselves. They literally don't do anything when you cast them. They'll probably maybe do a 1 point of true damage, similar to way Trundle's ice thing or Anivia's ice wall would do to like maybe knock people up out of channels and stuff. That's something they could do since it is a pretty much a permanent terrain that he could place. But when he places more than 3, the first one will be destroyed. So he can keep putting them down and repositioning them. So he doesn't have like a limit to 3 per se, but he can only have a limit of 3 on the map. Um, so there's not just like infinite mirrors, and since he throws his Q, I wanted it to where when he would shoot his Q, he could shoot it into a mirror and his mirror would absorb it and then reset its range so he could potentially throw that his Q further. So he can get some good things like make a triangle out of mirrors and bounce the mirror ball off of all of them and hit them at the end, or have it where like when he casts it, it just keeps going and just keeps resetting and going through this circle. And so if someone happens to go through there and hits it, bam, it hits them. And like it could, I don't know, they can have it where it's set where when it hits him, when his Q hits another mirror, it gets a charge. So when it hits him, it does more damage. So bouncing it in that circle is actually a really good idea instead of just chucking it. Or you could just take away that whole idea of it like pretty much catching abilities as it flies and just have it where he has to like relay his stuff through his other mirrors, so he's completely like dependent on his mirrors. He'll be like a mirror guy. When he dies, he'll just like shatter or something, I don't know. And like that, him being able to teleport and stuff, it's not really that OP because like yeah, he's invincible for a second, but it literally takes like 2-3 hits to destroy the mirror, so he's not really that protected. It might take you a second or two to break that mirror, but just walk up to it, auto, boom, 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 he's out. Beat him to death. Like, it could take like 3-4 seconds for him to channel to teleport to another mirror, but it could take you 2 to break it. So, it's not that OP, and they've made a lot more OP stuff than that. Trust me. Yasuo's wall being able to block turret shots, that was nuts. But, it's all up to Riot, really. I'm just throwing out ideas, just thoughts. Or they can have a champion that can, like, steal other people's abilities. Like, not steal it, like, make them not be able to use it, but copy it. Like, have a copycat champion. A champion that is able to, like, take any of their spells and use it against them. That'd be awesome. Like, that'd be pretty cool. I never really thought too much about that champion, but it would be a pretty crazy champion to go up against that would actually be able to copy multiples of other people's abilities. Like, could you imagine having like Ashalt, Morgana Q, um, Anivia's Q, and all that, multiple spells from multiple champions all on one champion? That has definite potential. I also think the Mirror Champion has really good potential too. Um, like Riot, they can do a lot. They undermine themselves a lot. I think like they keep getting scared and taking shit back. Like they'll make something that's really good, and they're like, "Oh no, 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 we can't leave that out. We gotta take it back." And it's like, just leave it in. I hate when you take shit out. Just leave it in. Poke at it and prod at it until you get it to work right. It just takes time. Nothing's gonna be perfect. I mean, like, you can definitely make anything work if you just take enough time with it. Um, but yeah, like, I like playing League a lot, but there's a lot of ideas that I would love to be able to be implemented into this game. Like more mode types, more maps, maybe a map with like different levels to it, like maybe a castle or some shit, where like, or just maps with like different like terrain damages or levolution, having the map actually change as you fucking play. Like being in a desert and then randomly having a sandstorm happen, something like Gears of War. That'd be fucking crazy. So like everybody can't see shit. Or have a minefield. Use Bard's line of code that puts his little charms all over the place and switch it for landmine. They don't have to do a lot. They can actually get stronger or they just stay at the same damage. But like having landmines all over the place, that'd be fucking amazing. That'd be awesome. And don't make them invisible. That's just stupid. Like have them like a little gray circle with a red blinking dot on it so people know that they're there. Have them appear all over the place. They don't even have to be that plentiful. They could be like one every couple of minutes. Like, but just having the potential of there being such a thing would be neat. It'd be a neat idea, especially if you happen to see one spawn near one of your jungle buffs, and you're like, "Oh, I can use that." Shoot the jungle buff, uh, fucking pull it or whatever. Uh, what's that word? Brain dead. Kite the jungle buff into the landmine, so it helps you farm or helps you jungle and stuff. Like and it'll be neutral. Whatever touches them, it blows up on. You can have a minion touch it; it'll blow up on it. It can do like 50 damage. That's nothing. Like it could start off at like 20 damage or 10 damage, and then as the time goes on, it goes from 20 to 50 or 50 to 100 when it's late game and everybody's at 18 or 18 minutes in, it does like 100 damage. 20 minutes in, it does 200 damage or some shit like that. I mean, that's not really anything, but it's enough to change some small fights. It's enough to have potential with inside this game. I'm holding my cup too long. Like, I want to take a drink, but I'm talking too much. Um, but yeah, I was wondering if you guys would like to, like, because I was too focused in this game, I didn't really, like, talk too much, so I wanted to actually record over this and hear this. Our whole team pretty much dies here, but it's funny. Um, yeah, that Aurelia pretty much just came out and just shredded everyone. It was funny as heck. Uh, but I was upset at the time. Like I was pretty peeved. I was like, "What's wrong with you guys? Stop fighting! You guys are just doing everything wrong." And all that, and like I wasn't. You can't really blame your team because you're a part of your team. So, like, I was really hiding pretty much in this game a lot. Like, I was being really. I was really keeping my distance from the enemy because I didn't want to die. I didn't want to feed. Our whole team was feeding. Not really, but like they were dying a lot. I was just trying my best. I didn't really do anything. I could have done a lot better in this game. But that's what that's what you do. You watch your bad games and you learn from them. That's a good way to get better. But yeah, there is so much that League can do. to actually make this game better. And it feels like they are getting lazy with it. I do love the new champions and all, and don't get me wrong, I do like them. I like the new ideas that they come up with and stuff. Tom being able to devour. I've always thought like, hey, they should make some type of frog champion or a bee champion or something like that. And I really like the idea of this mirror champion because there's still a lot of potential, a lot of ideas of new champions, and they shouldn't get discouraged when they have a champion that already exists, like a champ like Wolric, a wolf champion. That doesn't mean that they can't make another wolf champion. He's not the only thing. Like, he doesn't have to be the only wolf. Like, Master Yi doesn't have to be the only samurai or Wuju Master. Like, they don't have to. Well, Master Yi isn't. Wukong is also a Wuju Master, but like, you know what I mean. They can make champions that look similar. Just make them work differently. Make them work differently. Make them have their own little thing. It's like this is an entire world that they're working with, and they are only using so much of it. And like the potential of what they have is like almost endless. They could do a lot of shit in this game, but they choose not to a lot, and getting harassed by Kendrick there. Kendrick's a really strong champion. I was really impressed with how much damage he can actually do. But I wasn't really scared of him too much. Like at this point in the game, I was actually doing really good. Like I was actually keeping up with the enemy team's levels and all that, and I was able to keep dishing out damage even when jumped by multiple people. But my team pretty much gave up hope, and that's a problem. Like when you give up hope in a game, you've all but lost. Like it's like people, they mess up, they get cocky. This team, the enemy team, they were really cocky. Like they made huge mistakes. If I would have played it better, like if I would have landed that E on Kendrick, I could have W'd, I could have Q'd him, I could have ulted, and he would have died. But he probably would have ulted too and stopped himself from dying. But I would have dropped him down really fucking low, really quick. Um, but yeah, like my team's just like, just go in and die, and it's like, don't give up, don't quit. Like there's never really a thing where you have no other choice but to quit. I mean, like this we ended up surrendering, but like I kept feeling like we could do more, but we ended up not really working out. I was trying to save Yi there, but I knew he was dead. My E wasn't gonna come up fast enough. So I tried to ult and get as much damage down. I thought maybe he would, I don't know, Q and survive a little bit longer, but he just died. Really, was pretty fat and all that at that time, and it's like he should have just kept running. He wasn't that far from the tower. He could have definitely made it and survived. Uh, but yeah, there's a lot of situations, like a lot of values and stuff you have to take into account with every game. You gotta see what the potential of each champion. I know Aurelia pretty good. Like I don't play her too much, but I've faced her a lot. I know her ranges of her abilities, and I'm able to predict how she's going to react and actually be able to prevent her from killing me, because she could easily have jumped to me and fucking stunned me right there and ulted and killed me. She had her ult up. So I would have been dead if she would have got just a little bit closer. I pretty much timed that almost perfectly for her not to jump onto me, because I was pretty much alone. Nobody pays attention. No one else on my team is actually paying attention to the map anymore. They've given up. But enough about this game. This game upset me way more than you think. Um, but yeah, like League has a lot of ideas to it, and I see a lot of potential. I still see it as a new game, still in diapers. Like it still has a lot of potential that it could be doing, but it doesn't. It backs out of a lot of stuff that it could do. Um, Like, I constantly see new items and old items popping up and disappearing, and it's like, why? Just keep the old items and add new items. Just have more. You could have so much more, Syndra. Uh, that's Syndra for you. You can have so much to this game. Like, you can literally just bombard it with just item after item and just have just too many items. Like, really, you can't have too many items in a game like this because it's strategy. You want as many stupid choices as you can possibly have to come up with the craziest of situations and gameplays. Like, have an item that gives you another flash. Have an item that is more like a Zonya's, but for AD champions. Like, I would like to have an AD carry with a Zonya's and not have to have them be able to use AP. I don't want to have to play Israel. I want to be able to play Darius or Draven or something with this Zonya's. And I can't. Because they don't have AP. I can't. It's more than pointless to have a Riven with the Zonya's. It's like, what's the point of this? I'd love to have an AD version of Zonya's, even if it doesn't even give that much attack damage. Have it with 50 attack damage. That's about it. That's it. That's not that much. Or 20, or 30, or 40. They can tweak the numbers until it works. AD Zonya's. That'd be nice. Like, like they have potential of doing a lot of stuff in this game, but they just don't do it. They back out. They take it out, run away with it, and it's like, just put it in. Just do it. Just try it. See if it works. Like, I don't know if they put too much of this into the PBE and stuff, but it's like, there's a lot of stuff that they can do. It really, really is. I saved the crap out of this viewer right here. Like, she was so fucking dead. She was, like, on fire and everything. She got out of there with, like, no health. I have no idea how low she is, but look, she's got, like, a sliver of health. And that was for me. My heal saved her ass. Um, but yeah, like, I think League should step up their game. Like, I know how to program. I know this stuff isn't the easiest thing to do, especially the different mode types. That'd be probably the hardest. Making new items and maps, it's not that hard. They pretty much do that anyways. A map is similar to a champion, have its own characteristics and what it's capable of and what it can do. It's similar to a champion, just flat and bigger. It's not really that different. And items, same thing. They could tweak it until it works. Tweak it until it hurts. They could do it. They could do it. I know they can. It's not that hard. Um, but the mode types, that'll probably be the harder thing. Like, I played other MOBAs and seen them with multiple mode types and multiple maps with their own different things and all that. Like, if they bring the Earth mode back, that'd be awesome. That's something that will relieve stress for this game, because that's something that it has a lot of is stress. Like, the problem, like the biggest problem is like you can only do pretty much one thing, and that's Summoner's Rift or ARAM, and ARAM's a beautiful thing to have, but it's it's only so fun for so long. That's something that strict is pretty strict on a lot of things. Is a game is only fun for so long before you just get flat out bored with it, and then you're like, what if they add this landmine mode or siege mode? Have it where endless numbers of minions are sieging your thing and they progressively get harder and harder until they're almost invincible and impossible to kill. And it's about surviving waves of these things. Or have boss battle mode where it's something similar to the Baron thing, but it's one giant boss that you have to kill. And its minions get stronger and stronger and are stronger than your minions. Your minions are like half as strong as their minions, so their minions are always pushing, but you have to pretty much race against the clock to kill this one guy. So it's like there's definitely a lot of potential that they can do. They can do a lot of shit. I loved their Poro King thing. I liked that. That was really fun. Being able to shoot poros around and stuff, but even if they don't like do that, just having more maps, having better styles to these maps and stuff, making different versions of the same one, just skin tweaks would be a breath of fresh air to see. And not the little tweaks that they add, like putting snow on the ground during Christmas and putting a Santa hat on Baron and maybe some pumpkins and shit during Halloween. It's like that's not really much. I mean, yeah, they're nice. It's funny to see, but it's like they don't really do it that often. Seasons don't happen that often, so they can't. You can't really be like, oh well, they do that with winter and Christmas and Easter and all that stuff. It's like that's not the same. Like they can make this whole thing look like uh, a digital city, and that'd be interesting to see. Having this look like a village or a compact city or some shit. That'd be pretty interesting. Having levolution, where as you play and as you do things in the game, the map actually changes and will like you'll blow down walls, you will push shit over and stuff like that as you move around, and you can have it where there's like dangers to each one of these maps. Like you can have a volcano level where it will erupt like shoot fireballs that will randomly devastate areas of the map, or have like lines of lava on the ground that will set you on fire as you walk past it. They don't have to be very big or do very much. They don't even have to do anything at all. They just have to look good and be neat, because the little things matter. Yes, I would love to have a map filled with landmines randomly all over the place. Here we go, we surrender here. But I'm going to keep talking for a little bit longer. Um, I'll try to cut this talk short because I could talk for hours about this shit. But yeah, I would love to hear your guys' ideas of these things. Like, I want to hear your ideas of champions. I'll talk about them here. I'd love to hear your ideas for items, for maps, for dangers and shit inside the game. Like, I would love to like see what you guys think. Like, what do you think about my mirror champion of being able to reflect almost anything and all that shit? And like, what do you think Riot should have? What should Riot put into this? It's like, do you think Riot does enough? Do you think Riot doesn't? Like, I would love to have a map that can have potential danger, have game-changing things, because in a strategy thing, it's not about you. It's not only about you and them. It's about where you are and what you have. And if you know your surroundings and you know what your weapons hold and what your potential, like what you're capable of, that's all the elements of strategy. Right now they have one or two of those items, a little bit about map, and mostly about you, your champion. It's pretty much all around the champion's capabilities. But everybody knows that a strategy doesn't come from just you. It comes from much, much more. Like you can do a lot of things. They just have to add a little bit more. That's what they need to do. They just need to add more. And not be scared. They need to stop being scared to add shit. Stop it, Riot. Stop cowering in the corner and being scared of like, will they like my Deathfire Grasp? Of course we're gonna like it. If we don't like it, we'll whine about it until you fix it. That's what we're here for. We're the critics. You're the artist. Make art. Please. But I love Riot. I love this game. I'll keep playing it. I hope you guys liked this episode. If not, say something in the comments. I'm still new to this stuff. Like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out a ton.
I definitely need it for a growing channel. But I'll talk to you guys next time. I don't really have an outro or an intro or anything like that. But I'll see you again. Bye.